Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Money and Mindset podcast. We are now entering season 2. I am your host, Sheryka Alford, and she is.
Anntricia Bray Smith.
We are here to provide you with motivation to get out of debt, build wealth, and transform your outlook towards life. Today, we are honored to have special guest Trinity Alford with us. She is the co author of the book Many Money Lessons for Teens. The little guide that sparks big discussions, and she'll be joining us today. Trinity, how are you?
I'm doing really good, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. Well, hey, if you missed the episodes from season 1, please go back and listen. We talked about ways to improve your finances, practical steps that you can take, caring for your future, and we also talked about creating a plan. So if you missed any of the episodes from season 1, please go back and take a listen to those. But while we are creating our plans and caring for our futures, let's not forget to teach your kids. And that's what we're going to talk about today, teaching your kids about finances. So, Anntricia, you have a couple of kids. You know a little bit about teaching kids. And
Hey, can I roll back the time? That's the thing. Can I roll back the time? And I don't think that's going to be something we're going to be able to do. Go back in time, do those things over. So we'll just have to pick up where we left off. My kids are grown. I can say grown and gone, but they are college students, and I can see a lot of my poor financial habits in them. So they've adopted the habits that they were raised up under, going into seeking out education, student loans, and different things of this nature. And so, whereas I was beginning to learn and begin to share with them some of the things of not to do, more of what they were conditioned to as youth is what they kind of geared toward. So we're going to have to go back and break that cycle of debt when it comes to education and begin to teach the next generation and correct their generation on how to overcome these debts that we're incurring through this cycle of not knowing, the cycle of poverty, the cycle of not being prepared financially with our future. So, yeah, I can't go back and turn back time, but we can begin to learn and implement new habits as we move forward.
yes, and that's what we had in mind whenever we were writing the book. And for those who may not have put the two together, I am Sheryka Alford. Trinity Alford is my daughter, and we were the authors, or are the authors of Many Money Lessons for Teens, which is available on Amazon. Trinity, from a teen perspective, what was your experience like working on the project for writing the book?
Well, from my perspective, I thought it was really fun because I got to spend time with my mother while collaborating on a new project. So I really enjoyed it.
That's good. And do you have any, I don't know, maybe one or two words of wisdom for other teenagers or young adults just starting out, adulting and trying to work out their finances and everything?
Well, one thing I will say to youth or basically teens, don't fall into the trap of trying to keep up with trends because trends go away very fast and you'll probably look back and realize that you wasted a lot of money. And I know that with social media, it's easy to get caught up in that because you're just scrolling through and seeing everything. So just try not to get caught up in that.
Oh, that is a
A
great,
wonderful word of wisdom right there. We can even
definitely.
tell some of that to some of us grown-ups trying to keep up with everybody's new car, new house, new clothes, new whatever, new devices. So yeah, that's a good word of wisdom. How old are you again?
I'm 16.
Woo, three. You say you three?
No, we can't keep them
Yes.
babies. And
Oh,
you know what? I think a lot of times we we as parents, grandparents, aunties, I think we lose sight of the fact that these children, these teenagers, they are the future leaders, the future politicians, the future taxpayers of this country. So that's even more so of a reason for us to want to make it a point, a high priority to teach them financial literacy, and especially as even as we're learning ourselves. And so
Absolutely. I think
it
it goes back to mindset, though. You know, many of us, I'm looking at my generation and that generation above me, my mom's generation, and the generation above her mom's generation. Um, they didn't know what they didn't know.
mhm,
And so, what they knew about money is that you get the money and you spend it. And so, with me just being fresh in the elementary years of learning about finances, um, it's a lot of undoing to do. It's a lot of undoing to do. We we spend 120% of the finances. 100 that we've earned, and another 20% that we have not earned, and we don't know where it's coming from, which just compounds debt upon debt upon debt. And many times, I find that we do it believing that we're making good purchases or that we're consuming things that are of value to us. Uh, living life, living our best
mhm.
life, so to speak. And so to unlearn that I think that is one of the hardest things, because it worked for grandmama and them, because it worked for mama and them. We're finding that in my generation it does not work for us, and we're finding that in my kids and say Trinity's generation, it's not going to work for them. So the old habits, that we've been conditioned to from times past, it's not going to work for the generation to come. So to say that they are our future leaders and they are uh, future taxpayers and things like that, you're absolutely true in a sense. But if we don't break this cycle, where is it going to leave our babies? Where is it going to leave us? Are we going to be enslaved, or are we going to um, be subject to uh, whatever someone tells us and hands out to us? Where do we break this cycle and begin to realize that teaching our children about money is now? It's not something that we hide. It's not something that's just going to disappear. The conversations need to be had at our kitchen tables right now, starting today, no matter where we've been up until this point.
True, true. And if you're a parent who says, "Okay, I know you're right, I agree with you, but I just don't know where to start." Fortunately for you, we're going to give you 4 simple things that you can do starting today to at least just start opening that dialogue. The first thing, number one, the first thing that you can do is invite your teen or your child to come sit with you as you're paying your bills. I mean, we all have bills, we whenever that time comes where you sit at your table wherever you are to get ready to write out the checks or get ready to call and pay on your debit card, however way you do it, invite your child to come sit with you. That way they can get a glimpse of what it takes to run a household, and that may also cause them to be a little bit more appreciative. um, Number two, explain the consequences of improper financial decisions. I know it may be embarrassing. You may not even want to think about it, but please lay pride aside. Teach your child from your own mistake. Explain to them the consequences, and even if it's something that you haven't done, like if you do make your payments on time, explain to them, hey, I pay my bills on time and this is why, because if you don't pay your bills on time, this is what happens. So explain to them the consequences of making poor financial decisions. Number three, and this is one of the biggest, emphasize the importance of paying yourself first. Trinity hit up on not falling for the trends and wasting your money on the trends. Hey, before you go out giving your money to Mr. Store person here and this business owner here, regardless of what age you are, you need to set something back for yourself for future use, to invest, to save. And I've said it before, just share your mistakes. Lessons can be learned from mistakes that have been made by us. Maybe by you sharing your mistake with your child, it can prevent them from making the same mistake. So just run back through, invite them to sit with you while you're paying your bills, explain the consequences of poor money management, emphasize the importance of paying yourself first, and share your mistakes. And if you just start somewhere there, that will help you incorporate those discussions.
Trinity, I'm just interested to know, because I'm assuming that you've had that your parents have walked you through the steps of finances and have already begun the process of teaching you about finances. So, with me assuming that, how has sitting with your parents and going through this process of writing that book, Many Money Lessons for Teens, with your mom as well, how has that impacted your financial outlook? And what is your projection, or what is your thoughts on what your financial future looks like?
Well, from my parents, from my financial future, I just feel like it's going to be really good, because what my mom just said about talking about the consequences of her past actions, basically them telling me what they did wrong in the past, that kind of helps me and lets me know, okay, I need to look out for this and make sure that I avoid this. So I feel like that's what's helped me the most.
Prior to being taught and sitting down with your parents, what was your perception on finances?
I didn't really think much about it. I didn't really find it that important. I never had time to think about it, like bills and all of that. I didn't really put much thought into it.
So now it just kind of alter your perception when it comes to finances, because I like that nugget that you shared about not falling into the trends and things like that, because all that does, it's set up to entice you. It's set up to provoke an emotion and get you to spend. That's just the way marketing strategies are. Trinity, excuse me, I want to know, why would another teenager want to buy your book, Many Money Lessons? Why your book and not any other book that's on the market?
Well, I think what separates our book from most is the fact that we have basic information, but then there's also my viewpoint as a teenager. So it kind of makes it easier for a teenager, just basically anyone my age or anyone older who may just now be getting into finances. I feel like my extra viewpoint kind of makes it easier to understand.
Okay, so you can kind of relate to what other teens maybe deal with, or what their perception on money looks like. So also, Trinity, let me just ask you again another question. You are a junior in school, junior in high school?
Yes.
So I'm assuming also now that you're making preparations and plans to attend college. How does your education into financial literacy and learning about finances, how is that impacting decisions that you are making as you prepare for college today?
Well, I started applying for scholarships and taking AP classes early to lower the cost for when I go to college. That's pretty much it.
What kind of savings plan have you thought of? What kind of investments have you prepare or to prepare financially for college? That's something you or your mom can answer, or
Mother?
Do you don't remember it? No, Trinity, her and her brother both have their 529 accounts. And
say that again. I think we cut out just a little.
I'm sorry, their 529 college savings accounts. They have investments there, and also custodial accounts, which are brokerage accounts that they invest in that's outside of the college plan. So they are preparing for that.
But also, she has some, I'm assuming with the book, that is something that she's invested in herself that is going to apply another stream to help prepare
Mm-hmm.
her, correct?
Mm-hmm. The royalties from book sales, correct? Yes.
So, Trinity, that's something that, I want to commend you on. Not many people, young adults. I'm even looking at my own grown uh, young ladies, that made that type of preparation. One of the things that I did that I knew how to do when my kids were your age were to get them in a trade school and to get some kind of job training so that they would be employable for that time when they left off for college. And but you putting in starting a new business or putting your brand on the market, so to speak, through uh, a, the process of writing a book. Uh, I commend you on doing that, because the royalties, that is a stream of income that can help you not only now but for your future as you prepare uh, your journey into education.
So true. So true. And if you guys are just joining the Money and Mindset podcast, we are talking about teaching your kids about finances with special guest Trinity Alford, who is the co-author of Many Money Lessons for Teens. Um, Audience, share with us, send us an email us at moneyandmindsetpodcast@gmail.com, and let us know what steps are you taking to prepare your teenagers for, for the real world, because at some point we all have to get out and live our lives and pay our dues. So connect with us and just share with us, let us know what you're doing, because it is our responsibility as parents to equip them with the necessary tools needed for their financial success.
Absolutely. And let me just add in here also, as we're talking about preparing our kids. In season 1, we did have a topic, a podcast topic. I'm not sure what episode it was, but in season 1, we were talking about preparing for college and what that looks like. But also, if you don't have many money lessons for teens in your home library, if you don't have my book, Time to Talk, in your library, that really put together is a good, valuable resource for anyone who has young kids or even grown kids like my own that are going to have to go back and to make some corrections into your financial um, journey, or what that looks like for you and your family. Those are two invaluable resources that you need in your home library. Absolutely, hands down, because it's not only teaching you in the many money lessons, uh, generating conversations with you and your young children, uh, but also when you implement that with the lessons that are discussed in Time to Talk, it's telling you how your children can uh, make passive streams of income through businesses of their own. It's also taking you step by step from the time your child is in 6th grade, step by step, what they need to do to plan for education, especially for those that desire to go to college. And maybe up until this point, you haven't thought far enough along financially what that looks like. It's telling you where to apply for the scholarships. It's telling you how to put streams of income and savings and investments in place so that your child can have that. And so um, think about those two books, two valuable resources that you need in your home library. And those are not only available on Amazon, but they're available wherever books are sold. So get that. Trinity, any last words of wisdom for anyone who's listening? What is it that you want them to know right now, that if they don't hear anything else said in this podcast or this broadcast today, what is it that they need to know?
I just want to put an emphasis on just saving your money. And like I said earlier, don't fall into the trap of trends and all of that, because you really will look back and say, that wasn't really worth it. I probably should have put more thought into it and just waited.
Very good. Well, I will include in the show notes the episode, and that was episode number 8 from season 1, where we did discuss preparing for college. And this wraps up our season 2, episode 1 episode of Money and Mindset podcast.
I am your host, Anntricia Bray Smith.
I'm Sheryka Alford.
And
Take care.
until next time.